Welcome to Forever Exile, the Path of Exile podcast. This is episode 29. I am Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Thanks for joining us on our 29th episode.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, we've got lots to talk about today, which is kind of surprising given that we're so far into a league and even an extended league now. But yeah, we got stuff to talk about.
Justin's already pushed a lot of my notes to the next episode. It's really annoying.
This is an argument every time.
But hey, for good reasons. It's always a pleasure to interview someone. And sure, that just shoves everything we want to talk about to the next week.
Oh yeah, this is Octavian's fault.
So,
that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if he's ever going to listen, it's all your fault, Octavian. But no, it was cool to have him on, wasn't it?
Fun talk. Good guy.
Yeah.
How was your week?
I had a crazy week.
Did you?
My non-POE week.
Break it down for me. Yeah?
Break it down.
Let's hear it.
I camped in the backyard in a fort for the whole night.
Oh, nice.
With family.
With a fort or a tent?
Well, it's a fort, but it was a tent.
Okay.
It's actually the same tent we used to use on the weekends just after high school.
Oh, yeah? I don't remember doing that. Did we do that? I don't remember doing that.
Well, yeah, I don't really want to say where we would go.
Did you have other
friends?
Can you
tons, dude. You're like my last friend that I ever hang out with.
Was it the place where we had to go past two places to get to?
It was where you had the 45-minute super steep climb that everybody always camped at the first location because they were exhausted, but then we kept going and it was 2.5 hours later. Water.
Yep. Oh. You brought a tent to that?
Oh, get out. We maybe.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I totally did. Anyway,
cool.
Camped in the backyard in a fort.
Have your kids camp before?
Forts are cooler. That was the first time.
Yeah? Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, they're at the age where we want to get them into it, but then COVID kicked around. So this was actually going to be their summer, but it'll be another summer.
That's awesome.
I planted another tree.
What? Why?
Yeah, I know. And then
I thought, didn't you give me a hard time last time I asked you about nobody plants a tree that often?
Yeah, well, I did. It's just a lemon tree, so it's not like a tree, but it's a lemon tree, and I put lemon in
jungle
everything.
Back there in 20 years.
Yeah, well, that's why you camp in a fort back there. And then we're crushing a show that I don't want to spoil, so I'm not going to mention it, but it's an awesome Netflix original that you can watch with kids.
What is it?
I'm not going to say because I don't want people to spoil it in Discord in case there's a diehard fan in there.
Oh, okay.
Don't guess it and then ruin it for me. It's like I'm 3 episodes from being caught up, and then I'll bring it up. So maybe next week, instead of talking 311 news,
it's a Netflix original with kids. I wouldn't even.
For kids. Oh man, it's Dragon Prince. You check out the Dragon Prince. That's awesome. Already finished that. That's freaking sweet. Anyway, I bought because this is going to be kind of like my solo game whenever I just need a break from POE or something. Just need that little 10-minute break and then you get back into theory crafting. I bought the 1988. That's right, a video game made in 1988, the remastered version of Wasteland.
Isn't Wasteland up to number 3 now? Isn't Wasteland
number
3
coming out in number 3 is coming out in August. Awesome turn-based stuff.
I heard it's supposed to be very I don't know what the word is that you use, but where your choices make big differences in the game, which I freaking love. I love
number
games
2
that do that.
Number 2's like that a lot as well. Now, number 1 though, I forgot what games were like in 1988.
Awesome.
So I'm still going through it. It was $20, but I'm still going to go through it, but it's pure dialogue.
I'm actually shocked that you bought a game for $20.
Me too.
That actually surprises me.
But I love that. I kind of want to commit and help them out that franchise. It's really cool. So I'm starting back at the beginning. Wasteland.
Cool.
And I have to think about a new playbook in Madden. That's always a big deal. Well, it interrupts the theory crafting time, and then you don't even know which one you're supposed to be.
How many people still play that game with you? Are there many in our group?
2.5.
Oh, I love those halves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, sometimes he's in, sometimes he's not. And oh man, yeah. So lots of gardening, but it was hilarious. There's this one section where I was getting rid of this. Is taking a long time, and I normally take 2 seconds.
This is the best week
ever. But I was re-earthing, kind of like just getting rid of everything that was around where I was going to put the lemon tree. And but there's these invasive weeds that are around, and they bulb and they travel underground, and they're just impossible to get rid of. Right? They just network like crazy. And it's so funny when I shouted this out by accident, but then I laughed about it immediately and typed this in because you mix a gamer with a gardener. And when you find like that hub of where so many of these roots and these bulbs are coming from, I yelled out, yes, found the mothership. You know what I mean? Like it was just the mothership where all the spaceships are coming from. So anyway, it's kind of funny.
You actually yelled that out?
I said, yeah, found the mothership.
Were your kids at least involved?
No. But my wife yelled out, good for you, honey. So that was awesome. Anyway, I had a good week. How was your week?
Oh, my week was good. I went and bought new barbecue after our chatting of grilling with Octavian. I had actually, It's funny when he brought that up because we were already planning to get rid of we've had it for like maybe 6 years and it's had its time. And when I get to the point of like flare ups, I lose my mind. And so they didn't want cursing while I was like grilling steaks. So we went and got I think it's like part of my Father's Day gift.
Yeah. Your balcony where your barbecue is rated 18A.
Yeah. You don't come out that door. Don't come out that door. And so yes, that was awesome. I actually got to play a lot of POE, like considering what the last like little bit has been. I got to get back into playing a bit more Path of Exile. I got Alva to 7. She is
congratulations.
Done. I hate her with a passion. And I will hopefully never talk to her again unless I want to do a temple.
They're going to reset masters in 3.11. Did you hear? They're changing how they level.
I don't want to talk to you. This is going to be a really awkward rest of this episode because I'm not going to respond to you. Anyway, she's done. I got to play quite a bit, which was fun. So it was a lot of work. It was hanging out with the kids, which was fun. Because work was so busy, they came with me for quite a bit of it this week. So
lucky kids.
Did a lot of driving around with my kids and my wife, and that was fun. And then I don't know. It was just work and a barbecue. And
do you have a lot of adventures and Odyssey playing for the kids on these long car rides?
Oh, my kids sleep. They call it what do they call it? A nap drive or something? They have some term for it with my wife, and if she happens to be like not super busy around like 1 or 2, then they ask if they can go for a nap drive, and they just drive. They drive all over the place, and the girls just like pass out.
Time for an electric car.
They just sleep. No, they don't care. And so that was my week. So real quick, I wanted to throw out a thanks to people that have been listening. We had a really cool week this week where we got an email from some of the places. I don't know who it is, who they are that track podcasts and all that, but we hit 21,000 listens or downloads, which was crazy. We got some really cool numbers with regards to ranking on. They have like these different things. So there's all podcasts across the whole world, which I think there's about 1 million of them. We ranked in the top 1,400 across the world for that. And the one that I really like is Leisure. So there's Leisure is sort of that main. There's podcasts, and then they have all these sub whatevers, and then there's Leisure, and under Leisure there's video games and gaming and all this other stuff. And in Leisure we're in the top 100 in the US and across the world. So huge thanks to the people listening, because
that's crazy.
I mean, we would do it if even 10 people were listening, but it's really cool to know that people are actually enjoying it and getting some good feedback. We mentioned at the end of a couple episodes ago, we did start up a Patreon for the people that do feel like they want to help out or they want to support the show in that format. Our biggest way of getting support from you guys is listening, feedback, telling us what we're doing right or wrong, and just hanging out in Discord even. So we do have that, though. If you want to see it, it's in our show notes, Discord, all that kind of stuff. We may talk about it every now and then. We've started an After Dark podcast, which is our after episode, which is a Patreon thing. It's about half an hour. It's just us chatting about the show and about random things that maybe don't fit into our normal podcast. So that's a big benefit. And we got stickers, which came in this week. They actually are pretty cool, hey?
It's so neat to be on a sticker.
Yeah, they cracked me up.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, big shout out though to everybody listening. That's for us, that's a really cool, a cool feeling to know that a lot of people are actually enjoying it and supporting us by listening. So thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, what'd you do in POE this week, Ty?
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I'll try and keep this shorter than how was my week, but then it's a Path of Exile podcast, so it should be longer. But anyway, it was busy. I finally decided on my secondary damage for my Righteous Fire build, obviously depending on what's released this coming week, right? And like gems and changes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I finally did that. Now, I won't get into that now because you have that slotted in for a little bit later.
I'm going to move it. If at any point you just exactly, if at any point you just hear that or this like really heavy breathing, I won't edit it out.
I made my final choices for my slow-mo zombie build.
Yep.
It's having a huge overhaul, but I spent a lot of sessions testing out in gameplay, seeing what the actual feel was like for both those builds.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to level my Righteous Fire builds. Actually, the core life regen aspect of it is changing a lot. So I'm going to re-level it and see when you can start sustaining Righteous Fire without any items in the game. I like to have that in my guide.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I like to also tell people, because there's a wide variety. Righteous Fire is just one of those skills where people have crazy expectations for it and don't know. So there's a big section of the guide that's like, hey, smarten up. It's an end game skill. But anyway, I like to tell people, I like to tell people when they should be able to naturally sustain it.
Sure.
So that they have an expectation. And if they're 10 levels over that, they probably did something wrong. So anyway, there was that. And then I have this awesome idea for a surprise party guardian.
A surprise party? Like, is the party a surprise or is this a surprise build?
No, it's so exciting. The party is the surprise.
Fun.
It's focusing on all the 3 skills. I think there's only 3. I hope there's only 3 because I've been planning it for a while. The 3 skills that give you minions when you hit a rare or unique enemy. So Dominating Blow, Summon Phantasm, and Herald of Purity all give you when you're just, so if I'm just like whacking, what is it, a unique enemy, a boss?
Yep.
All of a sudden you just start getting minions appearing. It's awesome. And you don't have to care about their life because they just keep showing up.
Cool.
So super excited about that. So I have to level that too.
Sweet.
How about you? Tell me about yours.
I was just completing that stupid cow alva, which was awesome. You know what? I'm glad that it's done. And we've had this conversation before. And I'm just going to reiterate it because I just think it's so stupid. I literally just spammed white maps until I got alva master missions. It was not fun at all. I literally just rushed through white maps until I got an alva. I just rushed to the boss. You know, like we're going to check out some of the cool stuff that happened POE this week. They talk about the numbers of how many maps were run. Oh, I account for a lot of those like highest run maps because it was just dumb. Like I just would rush to the boss, kill it, see if I got alva. Okay, I didn't. Do it again. It was.
Oh, you mean earning the missions by surprise as opposed to just her showing up naturally?
She showed up naturally one time, and it was the last time I needed her. The worst part about it, though, with her leveling is that you not only do you have to try and get her to either show naturally or get a master mission, but now you also have to get specific rooms in the temple. And it was not fun. I was really, really happy to have it done because now if I want to do the temple, I can just build it however I want. And again, the reason for leveling her was dumb. It's just for hideout decorations, and I don't even decorate my own hideouts, but I just find it super frustrating that that's the thing I had to go through to get her to. I don't know that I was actually going to play POE much until the next league. And last week, there was just a moment where I was like, oh my God, if I don't do it now, she's going back to 70 effing rooms. I'm never going to level her. So she's done, but it wasn't fun. It wasn't enjoyable. Like the POE experience for me, the build was fun. It works fine, but it's not like I really progressed. I just spammed white maps. I think we did a little bit.
Yeah,
which was
we played
fun.
A bit together, which was nice.
And we did some higher
tier
maps.
You love playing with me. You love playing at my pace.
I thought you were fine. I didn't find that you were like slow or anything like that.
Talk a little bit about your build. I remember you really liking the build at the beginning, but it's a little bit was it too clicky, this one? Oh no, it was. So explain the build because it's been a bit, but then there was something about how the build functions that you're probably not
I was trying to play Archmage with Tempest Shield because, Orb of Storms with Orb of Storms connected to Archmage with Tempest Shield because Tempest Shield is the fastest lightning skill in the game. Orb of Storms ticks every time you use a lightning skill within it. And so I was just scaling the Orb of Storms damage, which was very, very good. The damage from Orb of Storms, you can actually scale it very high with Archmage. I think I was paying like 2,500 mana roughly per Orb of Storms.
Wow.
So the damage was fine.
2,500?
Yeah.
That's 4 digits, right? Wow. Yep. Wow.
But the problem is it's hard to always know if it's down. And because I combined...
Orb of Storms?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could have gotten the Celestial skin, which maybe would have made it easier to see. But the other problem is because I combined it with Mind Over Matter to try and give me a little bit more survivability, if I got chunked by an enemy too quickly, I couldn't put it down. But sometimes you didn't know that you didn't put it down. So then you're sitting there like an idiot, just like your guy's spamming Tempest Shield and nothing's happening. So there were some moments where it was really frustrating because you just, there's so much, the game is very fast. There's so much happening in the game. So if you don't notice that something goes down, you can die real quick. So, but otherwise it was fun. Okay, let's get into this week in POE because it was,
yes, please.
I mean, it's not like it was huge. Great. Next week, hopefully will be that exciting this week in POE because we've got June 2nd coming up, which will be we'll find out what 311 is.
Yeah.
Some more information, which is pretty exciting. So we've got that coming up in a couple days. But let's talk about what happened this week. Most of the stuff, I guess, I'll probably chat about because I loved it. Some of the things specifically. Okay, so Delirium stats were released, which were they basically brought up the top uniques and the top areas, which they said they haven't done since Legion regarding uniques, which I thought was cool. You read it and it's like, okay. I mean, did you look through it much?
Nope.
So up until they rated them in 4 sections, all levels, players under 70, players over 70, and then players over 90. For 3 of those, the all levels, under 70, over 70, what would you guess is the most common unique? It's a chess piece.
Oh, tabula rasa.
Yeah, on all of them. It's funny, as soon as you go to the over 90, it's not even on there, but all the way up until, like level 70 plus, which means potentially level 90 and below. We don't know for sure. They don't show you between 70 and 90, but the tabula was the most common one. Voices was in all of them, which I know is really big this league. And then what else? Watcher's Eye. It's funny they have stuff like Call of the Brotherhood, Prism Guardian. Not really surprised that it's on there in the over 90, given that the whole Herald stacking thing or reservation thing was a big thing this time. So that was kind of cool. It's kind of nice to see the stuff that people use.
I'm surprised they have Watcher's Eye as one unique. I know it's one unique, but it's a unique that's mod can vary.
Well, I think that's why they kind of have to do that, though. And that's also, to me, why it's number 1 in 90 over. In 90 plus, it's the number 1 most common unique. And that does make sense.
Everybody wants their one. Yeah.
Especially in a league where everybody's running Herald of some sort.
But imagine if you were a different unique, right? Imagine if you were just a normal unique and you're like, well, my mod can't change. Why can't I be on the top of the list? It's not fair.
Yeah, it's really not fair.
No.
Okay. And then they talked about the maps run. So they show, I think it was like the top 10. What is it? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah. So the top 10 maps that were run. You know what? Race course was not on there.
Well, no race that's course. Because there was a glitch and it actually was, but they just didn't see it.
Yeah. So they've got Beach was the top run. But you know what? A lot of these make sense. Like they're top. So I'm just going to give you the top. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because they're really the only ones that matter. Because the drop from 5 to 6 is big.
Substantial.
Beach, Jungle Valley, Pier, Wharf, and Strand. And Burial Chambers.
Pier, Wharf, and Strand.
Yeah. So
Beach, Jungle Valley, and Strand I get because that's just, for the most part, even though Jungle Valley is wide, you can make that a straight line, and that works really well with the Delirium Fog constantly moving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pier and Wharf are the same layout. I don't get how that how does that work with Delirium? Like, how is that really good? Because you still kind of circle around, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but they're also all within the first tier. Like they're all early in the Atlas, right? So
that helps.
I'm sure that's part of it. But they're also Pure and Wharf are linear maps technically. Like they're not veering off like some maps are.
No, but you still have to circle around. Like there's a large section to the north and the south, and then there's a big area in the middle you can't access, if I'm remembering it correctly. That just doesn't seem Delirium friendly.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing reading this, and they make the mention about the fact that they think that a lot of the choices, because then the ones that are under that are Alleyways, Underground Sea, Promenade, and Fungal Hollow. Again, all of those are relatively straight shots. And the talk is, yeah, it makes sense because of Delirium.
Yeah.
And I really hope that Delirium mirror never sees the normal game ever again. I don't like it. I hate it. Okay, when we did our maps, how fun were the ones that I had put a Delirium orb onto that we could take at our own pace, do it however we wanted. It was so much more fun.
I agree.
There's actually something interesting, but I'll bring it up in a little bit. But anyway, I'll go back to the whole like Delirium looting thing and my frustration with it. But anyway, that was the stats.
We've touched on it.
That was the stats. Oh, there's more. Okay.
Yeah. Don't forget to talk about Alva while you're there.
Yeah. I'm sure she'll come up later too. And then I have one more thing that I wanted to bring up with regards to this week, and that is the Vulkan update. And this, for me, we've done episodes before where we talked about like these are big quality of life patches, which we have had. Last league were some incredible quality of life patches. It was great. Mm-hmm. This Vulkan update though is it's amazing. And the best part about it is that it's beta, which means it hopefully is just going to get better. Now, there is you don't really need to know the details of what Vulkan is. I'll give you like a brief description of how the comparable of what DirectX 11 is to Vulkan, because that's, basically the gameplays on the DirectX 11 API right now is up until now. And now you have the option of swapping over to Vulkan. And basically it just states that the DirectX, this is not from GGG or anyone else. DirectX 11 API has been used for more than 10 years. It still delivers excellent performance, but it does come at a high cost of CPU processing. Vulkan offers benefits that will reduce both the CPU and the GPU costs while enabling to utilize more modern GPU features. That is a really big deal because up until this point, if I'm playing Path of Exile, and I have a really beastly machine, my CPU is being crushed by the game. It should not be. The way that DirectX 11 is working with the game, my CPU usage is so high, and yet I've got 1080 Ti's just sitting here doing nothing because the game's not utilizing those graphics cards. What Vulkan does is it allows the system to go, hey, we can take some of that load off the CPU and put some of that load onto the GPU, which makes the game, it's so good. I don't know if you've tried it yet. It made a huge difference for me. It was so much smoother. And there's a really good video that Empyrean, he's a streamer, Empyrean or something. He did a video that showed the difference between the two, and you can really, really see it in, where people have these like super juiced up, crazy maps. I'm super excited about that. That's one of my favorite patches I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I'm super excited when I read that too, because it's even going to benefit the medium PCs as well, right? Like I have a mediocre PC now. Mine age is faster than yours, of course. And so when I'm playing, I'm not going to have the same frame rate troubles that I did before, even though I don't have 10 graphics cards hooked up to my computer.
Well, and the fact that it will just let the game offload some of the work to your GPU, which you have a GPU in your system that will work, which might make streaming a little more manageable for you too.
You mean maybe I could stream my PC stuff?
Right, because it should take some of that load off the CPU. Because I've never been able to figure out, and I guess it makes sense. There was an article or a comment that somebody posted where they made this joke about how Chris Wilson was talking to somebody recently. I think Bex posted it, and she overheard Chris Wilson talking to somebody during this press tour that they're doing right now about how DirectX 11 just hated them. It just,
okay.
and I was never able to figure out like, why is this game? Why can I swap over to like a AAA stupidly high graphics game and it runs super smooth, but give me Path of Exile and I turn VSync off, my CPU usage just goes through the roof, which should never happen. It shouldn't happen.
So that AAA game you're talking about, is that Drox Operative?
No, it's yeah, try Minecraft or something. Oh, I played that this week. I did play
Minecraft?
that.
Cool.
Yeah, sorry, going back
the
to
dungeons.
that Minecraft dungeon,
Yeah,
that
dungeons.
new one.
Nice.
Okay, hold on. I'm going backwards a little bit here because there was something else. Sorry, I'm going back to my week. Sorry.
I'm going back to my week then.
I did play that Minecraft Dungeons. Really fun. I think they've done a good job with it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely could not keep my attention for very long, but it is really fun. But this is one of the first times in a long time, and it's because POE is kind of slow right now for me, which is fine. I actually have like multiple games in my head that I kind of want to play that I just don't have time to play. And I haven't had that in quite a long time. I want to play Terraria now that there's the new update, the final update came out. I'm kind of like curious to try it out. Minecraft Dungeons came out, like literally the two weirdest games to be like, I'm not playing Path of Exile. But yeah, anyway.
To really push that CPU.
That's right. I want to really stress this computer out. Anyway, back to you.
No, it's good. But it was funny, like how they were talking about, because 3.11 is going to be announced now on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, prior to them being specific with which day they were going to announce it, it was just the title. You and I both laughed about it, so I just wanted to bring it up. But the title of this announcement was Tentative Announcement of the Announcement.
It's so good.
And all they wanted to say is they're doing their very best to keep their same schedule that they normally do. Obviously, COVID interrupts a lot of the stuff that they try to do. People are working very hard from home. League might get pushed back a week or two, but we're going to find out those details now. I mean, that was the announcement earlier in the week, and now that it's our Friday, they know that it's coming out on Tuesday. But I thought that was a nice announcement. Tentative announcement of the announcement.
I love titles
with
like
no
that
definitive details. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You had a couple other things from POE this week. We had that the press tour started, which was great. Yeah. And then the development stories. If you didn't check those out, it's fun. It's Nick just talking about the Conquerors story, the storyline behind the Conquerors, similar to what we talked about with Octavian about Synthesis and how they wrote sort of a bit of the backstory. That's what the development stories was.
Gotcha.
And then there was a patch and there's a sale. Helmets.
Sweet.
The patch was nothing. It was fixed. Lots of fixes, which is great.
Yeah. Busy week.
And you don't need like weird if you're looking like for like a Maelstrom staff is the example they use that's got the little 2 dots above one of the A's. You don't need to have the special things anymore for filtering through them.
Special characters, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, good week.
Now, do you ever use the graphics card hubs as your main gaming platform? Like most of the time, like I'll load up Steam, right? Yep. And that's my main source for where my games are located.
You're like talking about the NVIDIA GeForce experience, I think.
Yeah, so the NVIDIA one has one. And I noticed on Reddit somebody mentioning that POE has a gambling tag to it. So it's RPG or ARPG and gambling. And
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I get it, but it has no relevance on gameplay.
Oh, it's like, I don't know. You don't think so?
Why? What?
Well, I guess it depends on what you think is gambling. I mean, you could go with the
mystery boxes.
Okay, that is a form of gambling, which is true. But is a Chaos Orb not gambling? I don't know what it's going to turn into.
In-game currency to in-game currency.
What?
Isn't gambling.
It's not currency. If I use a Chaos Orb on a chest, I'm gambling with what the effects are of that chest.
Oh, no, because then it's like, okay, well, I'm playing Assassin's Creed and I'm jumping off a building and I'm gambling to see if I'm going to like stab.
No, it's not the same at all. That's not the same at all.
Every game has choices and chances and unsureties. Gambling, though, has to do with real money.
Well, no, it doesn't. I mean, you can play like casinos online that are not real money. That's like, it's still gambling.
If they had zero money,
it's still gambling.
That like
I don't think. Okay, so maybe your term of gambling means that you have to be gambling with real money. I don't think that's true. I think gambling could be. I'm not okay. And I should also preface this with I don't think gambling's bad. So
no, me neither. But I don't think a game like there were 2 tags.
Yeah.
2 tags for POE.
I don't know why it would be tagged
gambling
as
is going to be an in-game thing where it's just because a Chaos Orb is gambling, then if you're going to be that specific, you need 100 tags for that game. Not
the thing
2.
is that the thing is a lot of currency within Path of Exile is gambling. A chromatic is gambling. A jeweler's orb is gambling. An alchemy is like literally all of them. Now, I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I don't know if they've added this tag as it's supposed to be like a warning to parents. If that's the case, it's silly. That's silly.
What I'm thinking. Yeah.
I would. Yeah, that is silly. But it is gambling. Every time I use a form of currency in the game, unless it's like a
but that's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. That's not the tag.
Maybe,
you know what I mean. I'm like,
it can't be based just solely off that box. You'd have to have gambling.
Yeah, I think it is, because when you have a tag of gambling, you're letting everyone know there's gambling with real money within the game. If you have 2 tags, one of them's RPG and one of them's gambling, it has nothing to do with it.
Well, does a game like the EA where they had their loot boxes thing, is that tagged as gambling?
I didn't check, but it should.
Well, then so should POE.
That actually impacts gameplay, whereas POE, it's just aesthetics.
No, EA's wasn't it just aesthetics? I don't think it actually affected
EA's
gameplay.
is 100% gameplay. The cards you get in those Ultimate Team packages, like Madden, NHL, and FIFA, those are your players.
Yeah, I don't know how
those are the attributes you put on the field. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that I don't think gambling's bad, so I don't care either way. I guess if it's something that's put there to dissuade kids, that's a little silly. I don't know that gambling affects a rating of a game. I'm not really sure, but if you said to me, is there gambling in Path of Exile? Yeah, 100%, literally through the whole game.
Sure. We're using different definitions, but I think my point though is more
that it
doesn't impact gameplay, and it's also a game that's marked. Canadian and American, and I don't know the other types of rating systems, which ones they go to, but it's marked as 18 plus.
What is
the game?
Path of Exile? Aren't there boobs? That's why.
Yeah, like Austin Power ones, they're
like
what was the
shooting?
Yeah, fembots. Yeah. Fembots shooting their guns,
shooting goodies.
Anyway,
from boobs.
Just that thing. So anyway, I asked you not to push this one, and I thank you for not pushing it.
So everyone knows, this has been pushed since like 2.11.
2.11, yeah, no kidding. So I normally, when I'm theory crafting, I have an idea that I'm building around with Path of Exile. And so it's really easy to funnel out a lot of the normal temptations when making a build, because I have a very specific thing. For example, with my Righteous Fire character in the past, including 310, the life regen was 100%. The whole build revolved around endurance charges, right? And so it was very easy to remove other temptations of damage mitigation or other types of damage or increasing or decreasing AoE, because I could revolve so much of that around endurance charges. With the changes that I've been making to my Righteous Fire build now, I don't think I've ever been so monopolized upstairs for so long with unsureties, like just choosing. Like my wife makes fun of me. She's like, I feel like our house is in a beautiful mind. Remember that with Russell
like
Crowe?
where he's like writing all over the place.
Like I literally have these. I have a stack of paper right in the office, just little pieces, and I'm writing down, all the different combos of gems that I could have. Right? Okay, which one's casting damage taken? Which one am I comfortable with? And then I'm like, okay, well, do I want Firestorm? Do I want Searing Bond? Do I want Fire Trap? Do I want Volatile Dead? And so I'm writing all those DPS options on a piece of paper so I can carry them around. I can peek at them when I'm on my walk or something. And then but then it's like, okay, well, this is with the DPS for the entire build with RF as a 4 link and Volatile Dead as a 5 link. But this is what it's going to be like with RF as a 5 link and Volatile Dead as a 4. And anyway, so all of a sudden my pockets are bulging. Like I have some sort of growths because I have so much paper that I'm trying to flip through. And I'm like, honey, have you seen this? And she doesn't know which one I'm talking about, but they're everywhere. They're in the bedroom, bedside table. They're on the table. They're on the couch, on the coffee table. They're all over the place. And I don't even remember which ones are recent. I need to start dating them with timestamp.
You really should.
So I know that's the problem.
Probably where the problem lies. Yep.
But I've never had so much trouble figuring out secondary damage for a build ever. So I think I've come up with it, but I kind of want to talk about the value of actually trying a building gameplay. There's a lot of Path of Building warriors out there. So let me Fire Trap was by far the strongest option for me.
Yeah.
Right. Fire Trap does ignite damage and burning damage at the same time. And they both scale off of the exact same nodes that Righteous Fire would be, right? Yep. Burning damage, damage over time, fire damage, elemental damage, all the same. I don't know if I repeated one. And so that does insane damage. Now, I'm on the far left side of the tree. Righteous Fire, even though it's a 4-link, is my primary skill. So even though Fire Trap's my secondary skill, it's my 5-link. I feel like it takes 10 seconds to throw it.
Yeah.
Right. When I try it out in gameplay, it's strong, but it's a trap. And I have to consider console as well. So I'm not specifically clicking the location it's going to. It was clunky, but it does tons of damage when you hit right. Searing Bond would be awesome because nobody uses it. When's the last time you saw, hey, check out my Searing Bond build?
I don't see any of the stuff like that.
It's a forgotten skill. But here's the thing. Let me give you an example to the mana cost. Maybe more people will play it if it was a little bit more mana sensitive. Searing Bond as a 5-link with the same supports as Scorching Ray as a 5-link, right? They use the same stuff, same type of damage, same non-hit, same damage over time. Searing Bond with a 5-link was 200 mana. Scorching Ray was 66. And that's with Scorching Ray as a 6-link with Spell Totem.
Oh, right, because you were going to put on a Spell Totem. That's right.
Right. So this is Scorching Ray as a 6-link with Spell Totem versus Searing Bond as a 5-link with the same supports, right? 200 versus 66. Like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I'm going to be able to do that kind of mana without it being a huge focus on the tree.
Yep.
So that was disappointing because I thought it would be really cool to have a really good build with Searing Bond. Huh?
Didn't you used to use Cyclone with it? With your Righteous Fire?
Yeah, just as a procer, it would give me the ability to have summon Holy Relic, right? Every time you hit with the melee skill, it would give you life regen
or something.
And then I would add Fortify. Sure. And then I'd also have at that time, I think I had an Elemental Equilibrium, so I just had added lightning to it. So, but you know what I finally came up with? I ended up deciding between Volatile Dead and Firestorm. And Volatile Dead does a lot of like brainless damage, which is nice, but it would basically require a 5-link for a 2-link item, right? Cyclone, cast while channeling, Desecrate, and then finally my 4th link is the actual damage. So then my 5th socket would actually just be a damage node for Volatile Dead. So it did consistent damage, and it was brainless, but it wasn't a lot end game. I actually went with Firestorm.
You don't use
Cyclone?
EE, right?
No, I don't want to use EE with it. I don't want to have that as a requirement for new people. A lot of experienced people play, but you can get the equivalent damage of that Elemental Equilibrium provides with flammability and any type of fire exposure, like Wave of Conviction. All of a sudden, you're at the exact same damage that
Scorching Ray and Wave of Conviction, would give you exposure. But I mean,
yeah, but exposure doesn't stack. So whichever exposure,
right, whichever one you
get,
right?
Yeah. Right. So I actually went with Firestorm. It's Cyclone, Cast While Channeling, Firestorm, and I actually was another one of those like Path of Building things that you don't really get with Path of Building. The strongest support nodes for that was Concentrated Effect, so making sure that the AoE of Firestorm for the two people that don't know, it's just fireballs from the sky, right? It's a big AoE. So if you link it with Concentrated Effect, it makes the AoE that those 10 fireballs fall per second really short. And when you add increased duration to it, it's actually stronger than any actual damage support. So it was really cool because if you have it falling for 4 seconds and you have 4 of them, so 4 firestorms hitting for 4 seconds straight, all within that one concentrated area, it's really strong. Really strong.
If it's stationary. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, you don't really care about stationary while you're clearing, right? So yeah, it was good. And so I went and I defeated some of the conquerors with it. I mean, they were level 10 at the time, the gems, but it was solid. It was good. And so it lets me add that one node in the chieftain, where hitting an enemy covers them in ash or has a chance to cover them in ash. So I get the bonus ash damage for Righteous Fire. So anyway, didn't mean to talk so long about it, but it was 3 weeks of so many options, and it freaked me out. And not freaked me out at all. It was just like monopolizing, and it's nice to actually get it done, to have it chosen. I could start a for fun build now that the guide thing's done, even though everything's going to change on Tuesday and all that work's going to be for nothing.
Plus, now we won't have to add this to another upcoming episode.
Most importantly, Justin never has to talk about it again.
I'm glad you made a decision.
It's going to be exciting. I just wish that there was more than one skin for Firestorm. There's just the Ballista one, I think it's called, and that's it.
Yep.
But I saw, though, while I was going through kind of taking breaks, still want to think about POE and all that. I saw a Reddit post that I liked, a title that I liked. It says, how much Shaper DPS is good for Stormburst?
Okay.
So normally people, and we've criticized titles a lot, like 10 billion trillion Shaper DPS, or right? And when, that's very specific circumstances, ultimate weapons, pretty misleading. I liked this question because the individual that's asking it cares about Stormburst damage. They're not looking for like, well, this is how much damage I need to do against the Shaper, no matter the skill I'm using. They recognize that every skill is different, right? Like, for example, if you're doing a dot build, you're not looking at like millions like you are for an attack build with, 5 attacks a second. It's a totally different stat that you're looking, or number that you should be happy with. So I just liked it. I just liked that they were like, what's a good DPS for Stormburst?
Did they get
so
an
if you're
answer?
out there, I don't know. This one's another one that's been pushed for like 3 months. So I don't know. But it was cool. No, but it's good. So if you're looking out there and you're like, if you're one of those people that are theory crafting a lot with a third-party tool, remember, every skill is different. For example, the Firestorm that I'm using, it can do 3 million damage. But in Path of Building, it's showing that every hit is doing 7,000 damage. But then you have to consider, okay, well, how many are hitting in that area? Okay, well, let's pretend that 5 out of the 10 Firestorms are hitting the same enemy in a second. Now that it's lasting 4 seconds and I'm casting it twice a second, So anyway, just the different things to look for. And that's what I thought of when I saw that title. So
we were talking about like the loot of Delirium, and I think it was a couple episodes we were talking about like the Chinese realm. I think it was maybe during the race time or something. We were talking about the stuff that happens on the Chinese realm that doesn't happen on like our realm for Path of Exile. Did you know that they have a loot pet? Like there's a pet that will pick up loot.
That's really cool. Is it your filter that determines what they pick up, or is it just
Apparently
currency?
Not. Apparently it just picks up all low currency. So you end up with like thousands.
That's perfect, because I always pick up low currency, but I'm stopping for every scroll of wisdom.
Right. Picks up all that kind of stuff. Now I don't know the full details of it. I'm just going off of what I heard, but apparently it's extremely expensive, which I'm not a big fan of. It's
you pay?
Yeah. It's bought. So I'm not a big fan of that. And I don't know that it will ever even come to ours, but yeah, I didn't realize that was even a thing. And you know what irritates me?
I would buy it though.
You know what though? I don't need a pet. Just make it so that when I click one of them, all of them get picked up
on the screen.
Yes. If I want that wisdom scroll, then I probably want the other ones around it. Stop making me like, I mean, you've had issues with wrists and stuff and like the hand.
Yeah.
It would be so much easier on the body to be allowed to just go, hey, I want that, or transmutation. Click one and all of them get picked up. Jesus, Parandus coins. Oh my God. Like, it just, I did not realize that I don't know to what, value of currency will pick up, but again, price wise, I don't really know, but what I had heard was that it was the equivalent of $150 for it. That's insane.
I no longer am going to buy it.
Right. Anyway, I just thought that was crazy.
I don't know.
That's
I don't
almost
have
pay
an
to
issue
win.
with it.
That's as close to pay to win.
If you're racing, sure. If you use that, but if you had your auto pickup, right? Like if you didn't have to pick up every scroll of wisdom individually, would you want it to pick up every single one, or only till you had one full stack? Or would you want the option
for wisdom scrolls and portal scrolls? I wish they just get rid of them. Give me a stupid skill to portal and give me I think those two should go out of the way. As for the other stuff, I would want them all. Those are literally the only two things I can think of that I just don't want. I don't need all of them because I need one wisdom scroll each time and I need one portal scroll each time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Well, while we're on the subject of guide replies, I was humiliated again in my guide replies. It's a good thing. Like I learned and it's neat, but I heard a long time ago that you could change valed and corrupted things. Tried it out. I'm like, how do you do this? Apparently it costs like one val. Like if you're changing socket colors or something, it's one chromatic and one val. So I'm like going and I'm looking in my inventory, my currency tab, and I'm trying to figure out how to combine them to change the colors of my corrupted item. And I'm like, no, can't figure it out. That's a load of crap. So whatever, man. So anyway, Goja, who is following my trigger happy guide, they brought it up again, but they actually explained how to do it, and you have to do it from your crafting bench. And I have no idea why I never thought of that.
Scroll all the way to the bottom.
So you knew,
yeah,
that you can change the socket colors and links and socket quantity with on your crafting bench, even if the item's corrupted.
Yes, used to be able to do that with Verici back in the day. Well,
anyway, I just found out as the original poster of that guide that's been giving advice to thousands of people. I just found out that you can change the socket colors.
The more you know, Ty.
Yeah, that wasn't embarrassing at all. But I did read a really cool story on Reddit this week about a guy who, it's kind of end of the league and trying to get a buddy into POE, and the buddy's learning, like they're playing co-op, and so one's played a ton, one's just starting, but the new person's really into the league and they're really starting to understand the currency and know how it works. So anyway, so the buddy gave him, or the experienced friend gave the new friend, like all after they kind of understood the game, all their currency.
Sure.
But they only kept one exalt for themselves, and they were waiting for when the friend was kind of like burning out or getting frustrated, something wasn't working right. They were waiting and waiting and waiting, and right when they felt like they were almost at the tipping point, they dropped an exalt and pretended that it was the game. And because no matter the type of what is it called, allocation you're on when you're playing with someone, when you drop something, it's free for all.
Yeah.
So it just totally made their friends. It was the nicest thing. It just totally made their friends' day. Oh, an exalt dropped! Oh my goodness, it's so exciting! And they pick it up, and it reinvigorated them to play a lot longer.
I just picked it right back up.
Did you see the title of this? I said, you know what you would do? You would drop the exalt and then just keep picking it up.
I would keep hearing
so
much just so you can hear the noise. That's right.
Oh yeah, and you do it over and over
and over.
I
love to know that you get excited for half a second, only to have it just swept away.
And the longer I've been without an exalt drop, the more you do it.
Yep. Oh man, if I ever got a mirror, never.
I just wanted to compare. I just wanted to compare what a good friend is versus what we have.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's all. You don't have that, Ty. You got to find a new one.
But I do have a mirror.
It's on console. We've had this conversation. They just give them away to help make people play the game.
That's right. Yeah, so I'm never using it.
We were talking about Alva before. You mentioned it in one of our previous episodes, but I was kind of curious. Do you have like a favorite master for selling? Like the conversation was in After Dark actually, where I was like, Kirek needs to talk. I hate Xana. Kill Xana. I want Kirek to be my seller. He sounds so much cooler than Xana. I'm done. We've had Xana forever. I want something new, but I can't sell to him. So I just sell to June right now. But do you have like a favorite master that you sell to?
It's actually different on PC and console because of how you interact with them, right? On PC, you just click on the person and then you hit with your mouse, sell items, right? So I like Navali on PC because otherwise I will never remember to fill up my
your prophecies.
My prophecies, right?
Okay.
So I like her, not because of who she is, but just that's the one thing I will consistently forget. On console, I play on Xbox, and so the quick option they have, because the menus can be really long on those NPCs.
Yep.
Depending on the NPC, they'll choose, X is going to be, I don't know, like view your interrogation board or whatever it's called for June, or Y is going to be check out your subterranean chart.
Oh, is that how it works?
So they'll have shortcuts to kind of the important ones.
Yep.
So for me, selling on console is anyone where X is sell. So for a long time, it was Helena, if that's how you say it. Helena. Because No, it's cool. She doesn't have anything else to do. I can't accidentally hit a wrong button and do something with my interrogation board. So that was nice. But I've recently changed it to Tane
Oh,
because
he sounds cool.
Because I like his voice. Does it sound like him?
No, not even a little. I can't even like affect that to make it sound like him.
So that was going to be my question. Can you make it sound good?
No, it's going to sound terrible.
No, so anyway, it's anybody that on console I can just click on and then I hit X and then I'm selling right away.
Interesting.
Yeah. Are you? Do you care who it is?
No. I always, it's kind of weird, but I always line them up so that when I hit selling and the box pops open to sell, I want to also within that same screen be able to click on my stash.
So I
kind of line them up so that I can always do that. It just makes it faster. Yeah. And then I don't like Helena because I hate her voice.
Why?
I don't know.
She probably listens to the podcast.
It's the things she says. It's not her voice specifically. I just hate the stuff she says. It's like Xana. You just get tired of it. Yeah, I'm done with it. And then June, the one reason that I actually like, she has, I don't know who the voice actor is or the voice actress for that, because I actually did look it up. She sounds super familiar. Like there's a woman that I know that sounds, it's not her, but she sounds exactly the same. So anyway, I don't actually care as long as it's not Helena.
Okay.
Actually, I couldn't do Einhar. After
hilarious.
ExileCon, no.
Oh, he's hilarious.
I just can't do it anymore. I like him. I love his master missions, but nope, could not be. He could not be the person talking to me every time I went to sell.
Gotcha. Hey, you probably didn't notice, but I wanted to shout out GGG on this. Unless maybe it's a Chrome change, but I don't think so. Their website changed. So as a guide writer, I use the different colors that are available when making an original post, right? I like to edit text to be familiar and things like that. And they changed a few things on their website, but one thing is how you can select the colors that you're using now is a lot more intuitive and up to date, and it's a lot easier as a guide writer. So I just want to thank GGG because I know they're all listening for that change, because I'm finding it very convenient now.
Cool. I don't pay any attention to that. Isn't it always just that like ugly? What's the default? Brown?
Is
it that brown color?
Yeah. It's a brown color. It actually hurts my eyes a lot, which is the primary reason my guides, I came up with colors, themes for my guides, because the brown contrast with the dark background really hurts my head.
So we were talking about it when we were playing.
Thanks for listening.
And I'm done with it. So we were playing this week, and I said to you, and I was kind of a little bit irritated that we're now coming close to the second league since Conquers has come out, and I have yet to see one of their exalts. We had to just pause the recording there for Tyler to put his freaking hat on. I have not seen a Conqueror's exalt. I've not even seen one. I've never seen one yet. And you were telling me that you think that they drop in a Conqueror influenced map, which seems even more ridiculous to me, because I thought, okay, maybe they only drop from a Conqueror. It boggles my mind that I've not yet seen one. And okay, we came out of our own league into the trade league, and I was so happy. I talked about that actually in After Dark too. I got to buy stuff. It was amazing. I played in 2 days and had 5 exalts drop. In 2 days of playing, 5 exalts dropped for me.
And you're saying they make it easy for us console players? Come on.
I think they just felt bad for me. But they were like, my boy, this guy is usually way further along. What's happening? Let's catch him up. But I have not seen a Conqueror exalt yet. It surprises me. I don't even know what they look like. I actually don't know what they look like.
You know what? I haven't had one drop either. I was incorrect. I did look it up because I don't even know if this is your note or my note, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, I still haven't seen it. I mean, I haven't seen a normal exalt in a long time either. And even though I've been for my speed, my time, putting in a lot of time. And I'm like, I haven't even seen one yet. So I checked my filter to make sure that they were there. They were, right. And so I looked it up, and I was looking up maybe drop rates or something. And so they don't drop from the influenced map, but they have a chance of, oh, wait, no, I'm mixing it up with awakening gems.
Right. Those only drop from Cyrus, isn't it?
From the Conquerors.
Oh, Conquerors can drop them as well? Okay.
Conquerors and that. But no, I haven't had sorry. So I mixed that up. But no, I haven't had any Conqueror exalts drop. I don't know what they look like yet either. I'll probably, just like my mirror, keep the first one keep it in the stash so it looks nice, and then there better be a stashed out place for it, and then
it's just weird.
And then I'll only use my second one.
It surprises me that we haven't seen one yet.
Maybe, but they got to be so strong.
I know
they're so much stronger than a normal Exalt.
Well, yeah,
they're giving you a more specific, fine set of options when you roll it if you're using it for that.
Maybe. I still just want to see one. God.
Yeah. Well, one of each, right? One of each.
Literally, just take one of any. Hunter. Yeah. That's what I want.
For some reason, that's what came to my mind too. Have you seen any Awakening gems? I accidentally brought that up early.
No.
You haven't? See, I haven't either. To the point where I was looking up the drop rates for that. And
I'm not super excited about them anyway because
I am.
Oh, to level them, I'll just buy one. To level it again, it takes just as long. No thanks. I'll just buy one.
Yeah, but it's nice. Like, it's so cool when, like, if you're playing solo self-bound and there's already maybe 20 Awakening gems in the game, if one drops that works for one of your builds, that is so exciting. And it's so nice because when you finally get that gem, it's already just as strong as the gem you have. So even though it takes just as long to level like it would, like,
sure, it's nice
an
to
enhanced
have.
gem, you're not losing anything by incorporating it into your build.
Yep.
So, but anyway, I had to check it out because
they don't exist.
I haven't seen one drop yet. No. I thought that maybe they were only with Cyrus, and because I hate that fight so much, I wasn't getting any. But no, they dropped from Conquerors as well. But I saw a lot of people complaining about the drop rate. And
oh yeah,
yeah, and I guess it would apply for the Conqueror Exalts as well. But I'm
okay with them being rare. I'd like to see one, but I don't want them being common.
That is my point. Yeah, I'm like, I would love to have them. I can get whiny because I don't have one, but I actually don't want them to drop.
Don't make it easier. No, I agree.
I actually, even though I don't have one, I like the drop rate the way it is for both of those types of items.
Yep, I totally agree.
And I saw some people complaining about, well, because there's a lot of people playing, you need to have them drop more, or I've done 80 maps and I still haven't seen one. And for
maps. Me, like, that can't actually have been a number somebody used. 80? That's not even that many.
No, but I mean, people have their different expectations coming from different games. But for me, rare should be rare.
Yeah.
Just because you have a great build doesn't change the math behind it. And so I don't know.
No,
I like it.
I don't like that I haven't seen one, but I definitely do not want to see them all the time.
Yeah.
Makes it more special when one drops.
It does. And it makes you terrified to use it, which I think is just as important.
Well, Beck said something about this upcoming league being a crafting league, which made me pretty excited.
When did she say that?
There was a comment that she tweeted that talked about how much crafting would happen in the next leagues. I'm excited if that's true.
Me too. Oh man, solo self-found again. Hey.
Oh yeah, hey.
Now, the Redeemer boss battle, right? She's the one with the blowing wind
Ice.
in the circle. Yeah. No ads. No extra enemies. I wish that was my favorite boss battle.
Why?
But it's not. It's
just like
cool.
The style of like walking up the stairs, and it is cool. Yeah, the layout of it is cool.
Well, even just like
it's actually
like the most noble of all the conquerors too. You know,
and her
what I mean?
arena
like
is cooler than all the rest. It just is.
Yeah. Level-headed. It's cool. There's the spinning for the cyclone that's around. It's so cool. But it is such an annoying fight. She's still, even though they've changed it, she's still in that cloud too much. Yep. It is too much. Her animations for her skills, just even though when she's not in animation, she moves out quick. Some of those animations are so long that it's really screwing over your build, right? There's no ads. So if you're a flask dependent build, to me, like, I didn't mean to get into that, but required fights like Conquerors and Cyrus need to have a way for people, a lot of varieties of builds to be able to stay in the fight. 100%. So every single one of those, in my opinion, because of how flasks work, they need to have ads for you to kill to refresh your flasks. If they don't want flasks to be a required part of the game, then sure, have it. But flasks are too dependent on flasks.
Exactly. Flasks are so in a tossed up spot for me right now because there's so many flasks. Like compared to if you went back into beta times and even for quite a while up until like I don't even know when, 2 maybe 2.
The good old days.
There just weren't 100 flasks to pick from, and I didn't have to just spam flasks because they're like skills now. Really, it's like a skill. It's not like, oh, I just need some health. It's like, oh, I want my 40% increased damage, and I want my consecrated on the floor, and I want onslaught or whatever. So, yeah, you either have to add adds to every single fight, or
change
flasks. And I feel like flasks. I kind of wish flasks weren't based on kills, but I don't know how. Yeah, I wish it was more like I don't know how it would work. Like maybe it was just a time thing, like other games have been, where just over time your flask just kind of ticks up, and maybe you could do something that increases the rate of that tick.
Right.
You know, like would be kind of cool. But yeah, it is frustrating because what was the fight? Okay, it was that fight. We did Redeemer fight. I ran around like an idiot because I had no flask charges. And I just,
and you need your mana flask for your arch.
I don't use any mana flasks, which makes it even harder. But I can't get any of the like increase in damage that I need because a lot of it comes from the flasks, and it's not fun. It's like I think Baron's the same. He also has no ads, but
only one does. Even the hunter doesn't.
Well, do the snakes that come out? Can you kill them? I feel like you can.
I don't know. I've never tried.
I don't actually know, but
I'm so focused on being on the right soil at the right time, so I'm not getting poisoned. Yeah. Right?
It is funny because then you go to Drox, who's just like blows you over with ads. They come from everywhere, and then this other thing we were talking about is, and then you kill them and ads. Well, they do now. I feel like we noticed that this league finally they disappeared.
Yeah, they changed it.
But there was something that was happening. Was it the Redeemer fight where there was something where we killed it and we were both almost dying? After whatever it was that we had killed, there was still some sort of damage ticking maybe on the ground or something.
I don't remember.
And we were like, okay, really, after you kill a boss, just
all damage should be gone. I think it was just a normal map, but it was one of those. Oh, I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me in Primordial Blocks with that worst boss in the game. I
still don't know what's happening in that fight.
But he's dead. Yeah. And those skills are still happening.
Either that or you're like instantly just poofed. And you're like, wait, what? How did I just die? I didn't get hit by one of those balls. Like, what happened? I don't know that fight at all.
It's too dark. There's too much. It's kind of like the Cyrus fight for me. I can't. There's too much similarity between like the walls and the ground, and I can't really see. And then there's so much red, and then there's a flash. But I mean, for me with my symptoms, I can't see for a bit. But anyway, back to the Redeemer fight. It's really annoying because there's no ads. Now, I don't make flask dependent anything. I don't like needing flasks. I like to have my one button build. So my flasks are really just for healing. Yep. And so I don't run into the flask issue most of the time with bosses, but you have an issue when someone like me has no has no flasks because I can't regenerate them. But
that was also the first time I ever realized on her fight that it actually gets smaller.
Oh,
I've never gone that long into the fight where she didn't die very quickly. And I remember saying to you like, whoa, what? Why is this circle so small? I didn't know it got smaller. And which is even worse in a fight where she won't come out of the stupid bog. You're just sitting there like, okay.
I actually don't mind that it gets smaller. I think the dumbest part about that fight, with the exception of no ads, now throwing that out the window because we've agreed that they should be in every important boss battle. Not every map, right? But every like story-based, your conquerors, right? Cyrus. Anyway, is the fact that the storm moves.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's one of those situations where I'm not fighting the boss. I'm fighting the game
environment
instead. Right. And that's not, to me, what POE is. Maybe POE 2 might be like that, but POE 1 right now, that's definitely not what I want. Right. I feel like that it feels to me as annoying as debris that I can't see that's in my way that I can't get past in like a dungeon level or something. I don't want to fight the game. I want to fight the enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the Redeemer fight, it's just not fun. Really cool design. And I think almost all of it would be solved if the cloud just stayed where it was. It still hurt you when you went in it, but it still got smaller the longer the fight lasted.
Or just don't let her leave it. I don't mind if it moved, but stop letting her go out of it.
Sure, that would fix it too if it kept moving, but she was never allowed to be outside of it. With the exception of her dive.
Yeah, like, well, when she goes, I mean, she's not targetable during that time anyway, so whatever, but yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
Agreed.
So I I took a survey on the POE wiki, which was interesting. I was just looking at it one day, and I normally dismiss all the top stuff, but I saw that one was a survey, so I'm like, oh, cool, okay.
Wait,
so
like it's just along the top of the screen?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'll help you out. And so I started taking the survey, and it's asking like right off the bat, what's.
Sorry, I'm curious. Who puts the stuff that's at the top of the screen? Is this an ad or is this Path of Exile stuff?
No, it was it was the wiki, right?
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, no, it was in the same area where you're clicking like dismiss for the other warnings and stuff that they have too, right? So it was in there. And so it was asking things like, my age, how many people are the ages of people that play PoE in my house, that type of thing. And it asked if I'd purchased a game in the last 12 months. And so I said no.
Yeah.
And then instead of ending the survey and saying thank you for your input, it actually just said you're not qualified to continue the survey, and it closed it.
Because you haven't bought a game in 12 months.
Yeah. And I'm thinking like, okay, wait, this is the PoE website.
It actually asked you specifically how many people in your household play Path of Exile?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. And then anyway, but it closed it. So it didn't even like care about the first two.
Maybe it was just being nice and it was actually your age. It just didn't want to tell you.
Yeah, that's right.
They let you get a couple questions down and they're like, oh, he's too old. He can't bring this.
You're
guy.
not our focus group. Yeah. But no, I thought that was kind of funny considering PoE is a style of play where you don't want people buying your other game. Anyway.
Yeah. So we had a user on, I want to say it was on, no, it wasn't Discord. It was on Reddit. Rousey09. Might be saying that wrong. RAUSE09. He wanted to know what we're planning as a league starter for next league. And he also cracked a joke about console, which was hilarious.
No, it wasn't funny at all.
It was pretty
Nobody likes console dissing.
It's just so easy, Ty. Just so easy. So,
I'm not answering because they discount console.
So what's your do you have a thought in your head for what you're going to play as your league starter next league?
Minions.
Minions, yeah.
It's always Minions. Oh, I love Minions.
I miss play Minions
SRS.
this league or last league. That wasn't your league starter either the last two leagues.
No, I know. I feel, kind of that required gameplay as an OP, making sure that my guides are ready to go, and trying things out. But I'm trying to start a new character and see how my Righteous Fire one levels this time. And if I can do that and get to a point where I'm like, okay, yeah, it's levels 50 is when it's okay, good. So I just want to play for fun. Yeah, Minions. But whether I go Guardian or Necromancer, I don't know. You
get mad at me every single league for this. I pick my league. I pick what I'm going to start typically the day before league. I need patch notes. It's really hard for me to choose something to play without seeing the patch notes, especially depending on what comes up on the second, right? When they announce kind of what this league's going to look like. I couldn't pick a league starter without knowing the details of the league. I can't think of any time I've ever played like a similar style build for the beginning of each league. So I kind of was joking with you the other day that maybe I'll do RF next league.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'd be RF buddies with you, but RFs don't stack.
But I couldn't say that without seeing. I have to see patch notes. Patch notes for me is like the big thing that makes me decide on what I'm going to do or not do. We'll see. You haven't
done SRS in a while.
I don't like our SRS. I used to. SRS used to be fun. It's so garbage now.
Well, it can still be strong, but you don't like skill buildups. I mean, you get irritated when a totem takes 0.1 seconds to cast.
Yeah.
What?
I'm laughing at your SRS comment. I pulled it back over. You don't think it's dead. I'm disagreeing.
Where? Oh, yeah. Thank you for not pushing that. You should see how much Justin's already pushed over. Like our episode 30 is already jam-packed because of how much stuff he's pushed over. But that's my fault because I've gone long-winded on some subjects.
Just got excited.
But no, I don't think SRS is dead.
It is. It needs to be fixed.
No,
it definitely does.
No.
Yep. Don't say no. That's a terrible thing to say.
Okay,
it definitely needs to be fixed. You think it's in a good spot right now compared to where it was?
Perfect, but there's a lot of skills that are in that spot where they're not perfect.
Would you rather play SRS right now or go back like a year?
And play no SRS? Way. I would no. I hated SRS when its cap for minions was 50. No way. They changed that. I don't know. It could have been 10 leagues ago.
Why did you hate that?
Because 50 was so much. It was 100% cast speed. To get 50 SRS out, and they only, when they lasted, 20 seconds then? Now it's 20 SRS is your cap, but it's a 5-second thing.
It's terrible now. I hate our SRS now.
They have so many. There's minion duration nodes on the tree. There's minion duration nodes in the Necromancer.
There's better options than SRS.
That's true. But SRS can still be really strong without huge focus outside of minion stuff.
You can't say really strong. You can say it's like, it would be mediocre. It's not really strong. You're out of your mind.
Well, it's not Herald stacking strong.
Well, nothing's Herald stacking strong. But it's like, I'm trying to think of something just super random. That's what I would equate SRS to.
My 3.9 elemental hit ballista strong.
I'm playing a desecration build. Well, what are you using with it? No, nothing. Just, it's desecration. That's what I would equate it to. It's the same as a desecration build. No, it's not.
Fine.
It's not fine.
The unique thing about it is that it is almost like you're casting, but your focus is minion as opposed to spell, right? So I think the balance of 20 SRS with cast speed, 5-second duration, I think it's at a good balance. What do you think? They just need to hit harder?
I don't really like the skill right now. I just don't.
Yeah. Well, you don't like build up skills. So.
Well, I like build up skills that are good.
You don't?
Sure, I do.
Okay. Do
Flame Blast. I've done Flame Blast.
Yeah, long time ago, back when you like build up skills.
That was like maybe
that was 100
3
years
or 4
ago,
leagues ago. I had yes, it was. And I had a crazy good league with that one. So
Rousey 09. I'm playing minions. Justin,
what are you playing on that little box that you like to plug into your TV and play with that thing in your hands? What are you going to play on that one?
A little bit of Wasteland from 1988. I'm going to get my RF character to 60, or whenever it is that I can sustain RF without any items. And then I'm going to work on my surprise party build. Oh, that's a good title. Party build, I could call it that. It's like I just have zombies around me, right, to give me my guardian perks, right? They're gonna have summon phantasm with them, maybe. And so I if you're the boss, you're like, oh well, they don't have very much. What were they thinking? Zombies only. But then whack, 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 I start, and all of a sudden there's Herald of Purity people out. All of a sudden there's Dominating Blow. All of a sudden there's summon phantasms. It's gonna be amazing. It's a surprise party.
What league is this for? Is this for upcoming, or when are you gonna? When's
it depends how much you hate it. If you hate the idea a lot, it's this league. Because it also uses. Because I am gonna, for the first time ever, have a clear a mapping skill and then a boss skill in the same one. Normally, I just have one skill, and it's gonna be Cyclone, cast while channeling, SRS, minion damage. Oh, and you're going to be like, oh my goodness. Oh, I can't believe SRS is so good. Oh, I really wish I didn't diss it so I could do it.
I'm trying to catch up to what you're saying. There's a certain point when you talk and I don't know what happens, but something just turns off.
Oh, yeah. Well,
we had somebody, I think he's new to Discord. I think AJM. He was asking, I saw a comment earlier today while I was working, so I didn't get a chance to respond, which is probably better, about if he should play standard. And I was like, oh no.
Did you respond?
No, I don't think I ever responded. That there were so many other things being talked about, so I wasn't going to go back and be like, hey, I disagree with anything Tyler said regarding standard. I assume you probably responded to him, but.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyler, what's your newbie tip of the week?
So in Act 1, everybody's already going to know this one, but my newbie tip of the week got bumped. So this is my bitter newbie tip of the week. I didn't bump
anything. Go ahead.
You bumped everything. My newbie tip of the week is when you're going to fight Brutus in Act 1, there's an area after, what's her name? Piety. She's at something and then she disappears. And then you got to look around all these empty rooms to find Brutus, the entrance to Brutus. Just follow the blood trail and you'll never get lost. The blood trail always leads to Brutus.
They just put that back in too. It was weird that they took it out. Want to know mine?
No.
It wasn't bumped. It's still part of this episode.
That's beautiful.
Mine is that if you can, play with somebody else. Party up. You'll get extra XP, and it makes it a little bit of fun. It actually makes it quite a bit more fun. This game sucks for multiplayer in general. It's really unfortunate. It's really not tailored very well to multiplayer, except while you're leveling. I actually think while you're leveling, it's fine. I'm not running with somebody who's got 400 freaking curses that's going to affect my build, or you know what I mean? Like there's nothing leveling wise that tends to stop the multiplayer side of being pretty fun. It is actually good, I think, for the most part while you're leveling. So I would level with somebody else. Get that bump in XP, a little bit of fun with a friend. Yeah, that would be it. And if you're looking for people to play with, hop on our Discord. Most of the people on there are like super chill, really nice. So
yeah,
good people to play with.
Justin's tip of the week: multiplayer sucks, so do it.
Until you beat the game.
I agree. No, I agree with you. Leveling's a lot of fun with somebody.
Yeah. So I think with
if
that,
you can keep up.
I think with that, we're gonna wrap. If you can keep up, I love that. Keep Quicksilver flasks. With that, I think we're gonna wrap up our episode 29 of Forever Exile, the Path of Exile podcast. Thanks a lot for joining us. I am Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
You can catch more information in the show notes below. We've got links to our website. We're on Twitter, Forever Exiled 82. We have a Discord that's linked down below. And we also have the link to our Patreon. And for people who are part of the Patreon, we'll catch you after dark. Thanks for joining us.
Everything I wanted to talk about got bumped.